Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced articles of impeachment against President Biden on Thursday over his handling of the crisis at the southern border. She accused Biden of compromising national security, allowing illegal immigration, and facilitating the influx of fentanyl into the country. She said this was the first round of charges against Biden and hoped for more to follow. Taylor Greene also introduced articles of impeachment against FBI Director Christopher Wray, U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, and Attorney General Merrick Garland. She alleged that they were politicizing the justice system, persecuting former President Trump, and failing to enforce the law. She called them part of the America-last executive branch that was working to systematically destroy this country. Disney is scrapping the plan to build a new employee campus in Lake Nona, Florida, and will not require more than 2,000 California-based employees to move there. The decision is due to changing business conditions and the return of CEO Bob Iger, who has clashed with Florida Governor Ron Desantis over Disney's special district and development plans. Disney still plans to invest $17 billion in Florida over the next 10 years, including adding new jobs, park attractions, and cruise ships. An 8-year-old girl died at a Border Patrol station in South Texas after a medical emergency. She was detained with her family in the Rio Grande Valley, the sector with the highest number of migrant crossings. The child's nationality is unknown. CBP's Internal Affairs Division is investigating the incident. It is the first death in CBP custody in several years. The Biden administration ended family detention in 2021 and lifted the Title 42 policy on May 11. Border crossings have dropped by 50% since then, but families are still crossing in higher numbers. A federal judge blocked the release of migrants without a court date. U.S. Representative Lauren Boebert has filed for divorce from her husband Jason Boebert after almost 2 decades of marriage. She cited irreconcilable differences and requested child support and parental authority. Boebert met Jason when she was 16 and working at Burger King. They faced legal hurdles due to her age, but eventually got married. She defended his past conviction for public indecency and lewd exposure in 2004. Boebert unseated incumbent Republican U.S. Representative Scott Tipton in 2020 and narrowly won re-election in 2022. She is expected to face a tough race in 2024. Elon Musk thinks working from home is morally wrong and less productive than working in person. He compares remote work to the fake, quote, "let them eat cake," implying that it is elitist and unfair to service workers who cannot work from home. He criticizes bosses who work from home while expecting their employees to show up in person, calling them hypocritical and out of touch. Elon Musk claims to work 7 days a week, taking only 2 to 3 days off per year. He does not expect others to do the same, but he requires his employees to work in person at Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. He says the laptop class is living in La La Land and points to the cars as an example of work that cannot be done from home. A black couple who were kicked out of a Memphis restaurant in 2022 for allegedly smelling like marijuana filed a federal racial discrimination lawsuit last week against the eatery. The couple met up with family members at Houston's restaurant on Poplar Avenue in Memphis. Shortly after their arrival, restaurant manager Kayla Hollins, who is white, came to the group's table and told the couple to leave because they smelled like weed, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit names as defendants the restaurant, its parent company, Hillstone Restaurant Group Incorporated, general manager Ralph Price and Hollins. Bass and Brown seek at least $500,000 each in damages for humiliation, embarrassment and emotional distress. The state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II cost the UK government around £162 million, which is $201.4 million, according to the Treasury. A 10-day period of national mourning was held before the funeral, during which the Queen lay in state in London and was seen by 250,000 people. The Queen was buried at St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle, and her son Charles III was crowned on May 6 in a 3-day weekend of celebrations. BT Group, Britain's biggest broadband and mobile provider, announced that it would reduce its workforce by up to 55,000 jobs by the end of the decade to become a much leaner business. The announcement came after it met market expectations with a 5% rise in full-year adjusted core earnings of £7.9 billion, $10 billion, after growth in networks and consumer offset a decline in enterprise. Chief Executive Philip Jansen said after completing its fiber rollout, digitizing the way it worked and simplifying its structure, it would rely on a much smaller workforce and significantly reduced cost base by the end of the 2020s. The group said it expected to grow both revenue and core earnings on a pro forma basis this year. Please support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel.